The latest miniseries on Disney Plus brings us to the future. And not just any future, but to the Legos of tomorrow. And as fresh as the series may be, it still adheres to Disney's classic themes of family, adventure, and of course, good and evil. So in this exciting new era of technology and society, which characters would we want to travel with, and who would we not even want to be on the same planet with? I'm Kyle with Wicked Binge, and this is Iwaju characters, good to evil. Now, as usual, we'll be starting off with the most heroic character, and working our way down to the most vile and diabolical. These characters are the good. And starting out, we have to give our gold medal of good to Tola. The series' leading heroine, Tola, is a 10-year-old who is as adventurous and kind-hearted as they come. Despite coming from a wealthy background, Tola is willing to befriend anyone, no matter how rich or poor they may be. This is best seen through her friendship with Coley, which is really at the heart of the series. She's never disrespectful or rude, and when you couple that with her general well-being demeanor, it's not a surprise why she gets the gold medal of good. That being said, she's not perfect. She's prone to disobey authority figures like her father and her uncle, and even lies to them on a few occasions. Still, she is only 10 years old, so it's understandable. And believe us when we say there are far more deceitful characters in the series, and those characters are full-blown adults.
It's great.
Overall, she is a character that exudes happiness and generosity, and in a show where much of the focus is on the clashes between classes, those traits give her the ability to unite people from both ways of life. Making her way into second place and taking the silver medal of good is Tola's pet, Oten, a robotic lizard given to her as a gift. Oten plays the part of Tola's guardian in the series. She's outfitted with an impressive arsenal of abilities, all in service of keeping Tola safe.
I am a Greenwood tech robot.
As the show draws to a close and Tola is kidnapped by a nefarious criminal, Oten plays a major role in saving not only her, but her father's company as well. She also manages to save Coley when he is attacked by one of these criminals, and she'll go to great lengths to keep Tola and all of her loved ones safe. In one of her more impressive moments, she manages to fend off a superpowered henchwoman who is after Tola. Not too bad for a cute little robotic lizard. Equal parts sweet and deadly, Oten is a truly loyal pet that anyone would be lucky to have on their side. Wrapping up our top three, we have to give the bronze medal of good to Coley, Tola's friend and a worker at her home. Coley comes from a much different walk of life than Tola. He lives in the lower class area of Lagos and works hard to take care of his sick mother. This shows Coley has a level of maturity and dedication that Tola, for as nice as she is, lacks. If we had to describe the characters' differences as simply as possible, Tola is an idealist, while Coley is a realist, though he does have moments where he's envious of Tola's life, making him the obvious choice for the Envy Medal. His need to support his mother later forces him to take on a particularly horrible job for the criminal Bodhi, where he's forced to kidnap Tola as part of Bodhi's new plan. While he does agree to do it, and this choice does cost him a higher spot on our list,
Change my mind. Because cool now.
he does try to fight Bodhi's henchmen when they apprehend Tola. He's also key in helping free Tola from her captors.
Stop this.
When he reunites with her, she's understandably upset with him, but they're soon able to work things out, showing just how strong their friendship is. Next up, we have God's Power. Affectionately known by Tola as Uncle G, God's Power works for her father's company and is the one responsible for transporting her and others to their destinations. He's a pretty nice guy and gets along well with the rest of the show's cast. After Coley and Tola disappear, he takes care of the former's mother and helps her get to safety when Bodhi and his followers arrive at the home. That being said, he's far from the smartest character in the show. Uncle G is surprisingly gullible, and it's that element of his character that earns him our Darwin Medal. He takes everything that Tola and Coley say at face value, rarely ever considering the idea that they may be lying to him. While you could say that's just him being the fun uncle. It's this quality that ultimately sets the stage for Tola's kidnapping, so it is a little hard to let that slide. While that flaw puts him lower on our list than others, he still certainly belongs in the good section.
My madam is forgiven.
But with that said, our good section is officially wrapped up, and we now move into more neutral territory. These characters fall in the moral gray area. First up here is Tola's father, Tundi. The head of a wealthy tech company, his character will sound familiar to anyone well-versed in Disney animation.
Tola, I have to work tonight.
He almost always has his head buried in work and is quite overprotective of his daughter. He doesn't like the friendship that she's cultivated with Koli, and makes a point of it several times throughout the show. He's very much self-absorbed with his own accomplishments, meaning that he is a clear choice for our Pride medal. However, like any cartoon parent who has this worldview, it doesn't last forever. As his daughter is kidnapped by Bodhi, and he learns more about Koli's life, he starts to see that he's lost his way since he started his career.
You come to me for a favor after 30 years?
What began as working to improve the lives of everyone became working to better his own, and only in the series does he realize that there is an entire world out there that he has neglected. The show is just as much of a journey of discovery for himself as it is for his daughter. So while he's a bit overprotective and rude towards those outside of his class at first, he eventually begins to change his ways for the better. He's not a perfect dad or CEO, but if we're being honest, there are far worse examples of both in the animation world. Our next spot, which just so happens to be the last one in the gray area, has to go to Bodhi's top henchwoman, Happiness. A trusted follower of Bodhi and a skilled fighter, it is her who escorts Tola to Bodhi. Later on in the final episode, she battles Oten in a ferocious fight while trying to recapture Tola. Now, you might be thinking, if she's so important in Bodhi's plans, why is she not in the evil tier? Well, that's because unlike him and some of the minor henchmen seen in the series, she does have a limit in regards to what she'll go through with. She questions Bodhi's plan to kidnap Tola, and when he begins to alter his plan after it seems completed, she confronts him about it.
Money? What happened to your big plan?
As the show ends and Bodhi is put in prison, we also get a moment that indicates that Happiness may very well be on her way to turning over a new leaf. Since a big theme in the show is learning and growing, I guess we'll give Happiness the benefit of the doubt and believe she's moving towards a better life, and keep her out of our bad to evil section. All in all, Happiness has a bit more depth and humanity than most animated villain sidekicks, and it's this element that makes her character an interesting one. But finally, we've reached the dark side, and there is only one truly despicable individual from the series. And make no mistake, this character is evil, and who else could we give the gold medal of evil to, other than the show's main antagonist, Bodhi? Born into a poor family, he found a career in taking from the rich, whether that be by stealing their belongings or holding their loved ones for ransom. The latter is exactly what he does with Tola, whom he agrees to let go for the small price of $50 million. Bodhi claims he does this to teach a lesson to the rich, and while he may have a point that many rich citizens don't care about their poor brethren, this is merely a lie he tells himself to justify his criminal operations.
My people, I am here for you, eh?
Nothing is ever enough for him. When Tundi agrees to his demands, he alters the deal, now trying to take over the entire company and all of its assets. Beyond his endless greed, which earns him our greed medal, he's also as manipulative as a villain could be. He preys on Koli's desire to take care of his mother to motivate him to kidnap Tola. And that's not even mentioning the fact that Tola is just the latest in a long line of people that he's actually kidnapped for ransom. A thief who is greedy, manipulative, and treacherous. He's definitely not one to be messed with, and the only real choice for the most evil character in Disney's Iwaju.